Hi everyone, welcome back to another session of Asynchronous Apex. So in this one, we are going to talk about schedulable Apex. So we'll see what schedulable Apex are and how we can implement it in Salesforce. Let's first have a look at the agenda. So we'll start with what schedulable Apex are, then why do we need this, and what is the syntax for this, and ways of scheduling this schedulable Apex classes. And sorry, this is from the previous session, so you can ignore the last point. So let's just get started, okay? So till now we saw how to write batch classes and queueable classes and how to implement future methods, right? So the batch classes that we wrote or the queueable classes that we wrote, right? Just imagine if you have a requirement of let's say updating anything in the Salesforce or every day. For example, let's say if you have written a batch class and you want something to be updated on the accounts every day, right? Let's say maybe for months or year or for a few years, right? But you want that particular update to happen, could be update or could be deletion also, right? For example, let's say if you want to you want to delete all the closed opportunities after a month, right? So every month at the last day of the month, you want to check that what are the opportunities that are closed, and maybe you want to just update the close date or you want to delete those, right? Or let's say you, if there's just any field that you want to update, right, on a scheduled basis, right? So in such cases, you can write a schedulable Apex class and you can basically schedule that. All right. So there are three ways of doing it. So either you can write this schedulable class, Apex class, and you can write your logic and then you can schedule this class. Okay. The second thing is the second thing is that you can write a batch class and then you can actually call your batch class in your schedulable class. All right. The third thing is that you can write the same thing in your queueable class and then you can again enqueue your queueable class from your schedulable class. All right. So these are the three ways of actually executing the logic that you will have in the schedulable class. Okay, so let's just go ahead and check out the syntax. So if you have to write a schedulable class, then this is the way that you can write it. So there is a schedulable interface that we have, and you have to, when you create a class, you have to implement that interface. And again, that interface just have one method, execute method. So you have to implement that method. Now inside this method, either you can write your logic directly, right? That for example, if you want some account to be updated, then you can query the accounts and make the updates. And then once this class is ready, you can go ahead and schedule this class. I'll tell you how to schedule the class. Okay, so don't worry about that. So that is one way of doing it. The second thing is, let's say if you have already created a batch class, right? So you can directly call that batch class inside the execute method. Okay, and then when you actually schedule this class, so whatever batch class you have called, that class will be actually executed at the scheduled time. All right. And then the third one is if you're enqueuing your queueable Apex class from here execute method, then that also will work the same way. Whatever time or whatever schedule you have decided for this class to run, that but at that particular day and time of the year, this class will actually run. And whatever batch class is called inside this or queueable class is called inside this, or if there's a direct logic that you have written here, that will get executed at the specified schedule. All right. Okay, so there are two ways of scheduling the this schedulable classes. Either you can use user interface. There's something else called cron expression. So I'm going to tell you about cron expression later. Let's just first go ahead and create a schedulable class and see the three different methods that we just talked about, and we'll use just the user interface to schedule those classes. Okay. So let me just go ahead to the developer console. So I'm going to create a schedulable class. So here, the first thing you have to do is implements schedulable, and then it has this method execute, and all right. And then inside this method, you can write your logic. So let's say, for example, even if I put not system.debug, let's say delete select ID from account where phone is equals to null. Okay. And that's it. Okay, so now I have my schedulable class is ready. Okay, right, so I have this class, and in the execute method I am deleting all the accounts where phone number is null. Okay. So now I want this to run every day. Let's say, like, every day, or like, maybe some specific day of the week for a month or two, like, something like this, some schedule I have in my mind. So how I can schedule this class so that, like, on that specified time, this logic will run and it is going to delete any account where phone is null. Okay. So let's first see that how you can actually schedule it using the Salesforce UI user interface. Okay. So in user interface, you have to navigate to Apex classes first. So here you can see this button, schedule Apex. So here you can give any name, delete account. Okay. And here you have to search for your schedulable class. So which is the one I created this one, right? Schedulable demo. And then here you can decide the time. So either you want to run it weekly or monthly. Let's say if I'm putting it as monthly, so in monthly I can, like, put, like, from which day of the month it will start, and, like, what will be the start date and what will be the end date, and what is the preferred time, like, what is the start time when this should start. Okay. Or I can just choose it as weekly. So for example, let's say every week on Sunday I want this to start, and I want this to start from let's say December 6th, and I want it to uh, keep on running till December 2023, 6th December. Okay. And preferred time is I can keep, like, any time of the day that you want, you can keep. So I'm keeping it as 1 a.m. and then I'm just saving it. So now from starting from December 6th, 2020, what was the date? So here you can see the scheduled jobs. Okay. So this is the one that I just scheduled, right? Delete account. So it says that today I created this job, and next scheduled run is on 11th of December 2022. Okay. So it is going to start on 11th of December 2022, and it will be running for the next 1 year, right? The end date that I have put. All right. So this is one way of scheduling these classes, right? Where you have, like, directly written the logic inside the execute method of the schedulable Apex. Now there is another way of, like, executing this method. Let's say if you want to call a batch class inside this execute method, you don't want to write the logic here. Let's say you already have a batch class. So how will you actually call that? So for that, I am just quickly going ahead and creating a batch class. Or I already have a batch class. So let me just copy that. All right. So class, and here I'm just gonna put batch update accounts or something like this. Okay. So this is the batch class that we did in the last session, right? So all I'm doing here is I have these three methods: start, execute, and finish. I'm querying all the accounts, and I am updating all the account names with this particular string batch. Okay. This is what I'm doing, and that's it. So I'm going to call this batch class in my schedulable class. So here all I have to do is database dot execute batch. Okay. Execute batch. And let's just not give the batch size. Let's just, like, let it be the default size. So this is okay. And it is going to take the default size. And that's it. Now this, because we have already scheduled this class, right? So hold on. Okay, let's just take another batch class because this is already scheduled. Batch account update. I think this is the one that I had created. This is some old class, so I'm just going to remove this. And this is the one I'm going to take. Okay. So here it is, and save. Actually, I have already scheduled this job, right? And now I'm trying to make the change. So I won't be able to do it. Okay. So what I can do is I can either about this scheduled class, or I can just create a new schedulable class. So I would rather create a new schedulable class to show you that how you can actually do it. Okay. So let me just go ahead and create a new schedulable class. So second schedulable for batch. Okay. Here, and here we have to do implements schedulable. Okay. And as this is an interface, you have to implement the method execute, public void execute, and then schedulable context. Okay. Now inside this method, I don't want to write any logic. I want to call a batch class, right? So this is my batch class. So I'm just going to use the same execution line that we use, database dot execute batch. And here I'm just going to give it new class name, this, and that's it. Sorry, this should be semicolon. All right, this error is not from here. This class is saved. So we are good with this. Okay. So now I can go ahead and schedule this class. So let me just go ahead and schedule this class. So Apex classes, schedule Apex, and which is the schedulable class. So whatever class is implementing schedulable, only those class options you will get when you actually try to search for a class to schedule over there. Here you will not get any batch classes. You will only get the schedulable classes. Okay. So execute from batch, any job name that you want to give, you can give. And here we are going to search for the class that I just created. Okay. So this is the class I just created, and it is showing me this name because I have implemented schedulable, right? That is the reason. And here I can weekly schedule this for, let's say, just for Thursday, and let's just end it by tomorrow, and then preferred time 5 a.m. Okay. So whatever date and time we are deciding it weekly, that weekly every day Thursday it will run. So I have kept it from today. Let's just let me extend it. Otherwise there's no Thursday in between, right? Actually, there is one, but that's fine. I'm just going to keep it as 12th. So it is going to run for 2 Thursdays, right? That is coming into 2 weeks, because I have not no, actually this is 2023, right? So for next 1 year, every week on Thursday at 5 a.m., this schedulable class will be called, and this schedulable class is actually trying to execute this batch. So whatever logic you have in this batch, okay, that logic is going to get executed every Thursday till 2023 December 1st, okay, every day at 5 a.m. Okay. So once I save this, then that is that is the schedule that this particular schedulable class is going to follow. Okay. So this is the way how you can call your batch Apex into your schedulable class. Now let's just go ahead and see how you can call your queueable into your schedulable class. Okay. So I'm just going to create another one. So let me first create a schedulable class, schedulable third. Okay. And here again, implements schedulable, and then we have to implement the method public void execute, and then schedulable context. Okay. And here, now here I want to call the queueable method, queueable Apex. So let me just go ahead and search for the one that I've already created. So queueable job one, let's say this one. So what I'm see here, I am deleting all the contact where email is null. Okay. And I just want to remove this one, and I also want to remove this one. Okay. So this is my the most basic queueable Apex queueable class. So how a queueable class is written, you have to the class, when you define the class, you have to implement this interface queueable, and in this interface we have a method called execute. You have to implement that method. So in this particular class, I have implemented that execute method, and all I'm doing in this is that I'm deleting all the contexts where email is equals to null. Now let's say I want to run this logic every Monday of the week. Okay, every Monday, let's say 9 a.m. Okay, so how will I do it? So first of all, I need to create a schedulable apex, right? Which I just did. I created a schedulable apex. Okay, now I can enqueue this particular queueable into this schedulable class. So how do I do it? System dot enqueue job, and here you have to give it as new and then the class name, and that's it. Okay. And now every Monday, 9 a.m., right? So I will go ahead and search for this schedulable apex and I will schedule it for every Monday, every week. Okay. So let me just open it again. Apex classes, schedule apex, and then third schedulable, and then enqueue. And here we have to search for the schedulable class that we have just created. So go, and this is the class, and weekly and every Monday, right? So every Monday and 9 a.m. Okay. And from just for a week, I just want to run it for a week. So maybe starting from tomorrow to 16th. Okay. This should be 22. Okay, this is actually January. So December, and then 13th. This one should be December 5th. December 5th to December 13th. And I want it to run at 9 a.m. Okay, so 9 a.m. and that's it. I'll just save it, and this schedulable class will be actually executed every Monday 9 a.m. for this week. Okay, and what is the logic that I'll just just click on save here. And what is the logic that we have here? This is actually calling this queueable class, and this queueable class is deleting any context where email is equals to null. Okay, so this is what is going to happen on every Monday for 2 weeks at 9 a.m. in the morning. Okay, so this is how you can actually schedule your batch class or queueable class using the schedulable apex using the user interface. Okay, now there is another way. Let's say, for example, let's say I want to schedule any method, any class. For example, if you see the time here, right, you have 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m. But let's say if I want to schedule it at 12:15, 12:20, or 1:45, or 1:50. So there is no middle time. It's just it's either 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Okay, so there is something called cron expressions. Okay, so cron expressions, let me just go ahead and explain it from here. That will be easier. So cron expression. Okay, and if you get to form cron expression, if you understand how you can actually make use of cron expression, then all you have to do is you have to set your values in the cron expression, and then you can simply use system.schedule method to schedule your apex, right? So this we already saw, that how you can actually call your batch apex class in your schedulable class. And then this also we saw that how you can call your queueable class in your batch apex, sorry, in your schedulable class. Okay, so this is okay. Now cron expression. Okay, so cron expression, let's just start from here. So cron expressions has 7 parameters. Okay, the first parameter that you would be passing is seconds. Second parameters would be parameter would be minutes. Third one is going to be hour. Okay, and then day of month, month, then day of week, and then optional year. Okay, so here let's just say this one. So let's say I have formed this cron expression. Okay, so I have passed 0 in the first parameter. That means 0 is 0 seconds, and minutes I have passed 0, hours I have passed 0 here. Okay, and also in cron expression there is no fundamental of am and pm. Okay, so it works with a 24-hour clock. Okay, so 000 means what? 12 a.m. in the night, right? That is the only time in your 24-hour clock where you have the hour is 0, the minute is 0, and the second is 0, right? So this is 12 a.m. Okay, 12 a.m. in the night. Now let's see the next parameter, day of month. So day of month is star. That means if anywhere it is written star, that means all values. That means every day. So day of month means that every day of the month. So basically, whatever expression I'm forming here, it is going to run 12 a.m. in the night and all day of the month. Okay. Now month, star again. That means every month, Jan, Feb to December, every month. and then day of week, okay, every day, like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, every day star, and then optionally, right, if you're putting any year or not, but this is going to like run every year. So this is like the definition of each and every parameter position. So let's say if you want to let's say if you want to create a cron expression for 12:15, okay, let's say 12, that whatever schedulable apex that you have written, you want to schedule that apex to run for 12 a.m. every day in the night, okay. So here 12 a.m. means what? Sorry, 12:15. Let's say 12:15. This is already 12 a.m. in the night, right? Let's say if you want to run your schedulable apex at 12:15 every day. So how will you do it? First is seconds, which is going to be 0. Minutes is was you 12:15, right? So minute position, you're going to put 15. So here you will be putting 15. But here at hours, you want it to be 12 a.m. in the night. So 12 in the night is what? It's 0, right? So this has to be 0. So this will be 0, 15, 0, and everything else is going to be star, 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 because you want to run it like, every day, every month of the day, and like, every year. Okay. So let's say if you want to, for example, if you want to, let me just hold on, let me just write few examples and show you. So for example, um let's say this one, okay. If I write here, if I'm writing this, let's say 17, okay, that means 5 p.m, okay, it is following the 24-hour clock, 5 p.m every day, okay. And let's say if I give it like this, then 5:15, sorry, where did it go? Okay. So that means 5:15. Okay. Let's say if you want to run your batch every day at, let's say, like, 3 p.m. Okay. So 3 p.m. is what? In the afternoon for 3 o'clock, you would be, I mean, the 24-hour clock shows 15, right? That means 3:15. So at 3:15. But if you want to run it at 3 p.m. exactly, then you can keep it as 0. Okay. So this is how it goes. Now here, if I talk about this, right, the other 4 parameters, I can show you from here. So let's say this. So here, all right. Okay. So in the place of seconds, anything that you're putting between 0 to 59 is going to be valid. Okay. Because that is how it runs. Okay. And then for minutes, again, from 0 to 59, from hours, you can put anything from 0 to 23, again, because there is no fundamental of AM and PM here. Okay. So anything you can put from 0 to 23. Why not 24? Because we have 0 for 24, right? And then day of the month. For day of the month, you can put like, either anything from 1 to 31, like, which day of the month you want to run it. And if you put it as star, that means every day. If you put it as question mark, that means no value, you just don't want to provide it. So it's going to be like, blank, it will not be considered. Then month, in month, you can either like, provide a value from 1 to 12, or you can provide like, you can actually write this JAN or DEC or FEB. You can write like, give the month as this as well, right? Or you can also give the month, let's say if you want to run it from Jan to Feb, then you can also write it like that, Jan hyphen Feb. So that also like, works in place of month parameter. Star means again, like, all the months, question mark means you are not providing this value. Then day of the week, again, like, either you can provide any value from 1 to 7, or you can use this kind of acronyms for like, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and like, Saturday, all the days of the week. All right. And again, star and question mark stands for these two values. Then optional here is something like this, which I think, I mean, you will mostly see these things like, being just blank because nobody fills in that. So I think it should be fine. So now there is another thing which you might like, encounter sometimes, that this value, okay, let's say if you have created a cron expression, something like this, that means 12 a.m. every day, right? 000, that means 12 a. So sorry, this means 12 a.m. This just means 12 a.m. Now this is what? One is what? One is day of the month. Okay, that means day of the month means what? Like, first day of the month, like, like for example, 1st Jan, 1st Feb, or like, whatever it is. So first day of the month. Okay. And then this shows the month Feb. So here you are writing 1st Feb. That means every, like, every, and then Saturday. This is day of the week. And then here it is star. Star means any year, like, all the year. So, but if you see a conflict here, that every year, right? Let's say if this is 2022, so in 2022, maybe on 1st February it was Saturday, but maybe in 2023, 1st February should not be could not be a Saturday, right? It might just change. And of course, like it will be a coincidence if it remains the same. Otherwise, it high probabilities that it will be a different day, right? It is not going to be Saturday. So this fourth parameter and sixth parameter, you should never provide both the values. You have to keep one at one place, either in the day of the month you keep question mark, or in day of the week you keep question mark. Otherwise these two are going to be conflicting. If you are providing a star over here, okay, if you are providing a star over here, that means you are saying the batch to be scheduled, or like the schedulable apex to be like actually scheduled for all the years coming forward, right? And then along with that you are telling that like first day of the month and feb, okay. So that means that you are saying that first like on first feb of every year it is going to be Saturday, because you are also providing the day of the week. So that is why you should never provide the fourth and the sixth parameter both together, right? At one of the parameters you have to keep a question mark. All right, so now let's just go ahead and actually create a cron expression and provide. Let me just copy this and I'll show you that how you can actually schedule the apex from UI. Okay, so let's say I went to the UI. First of all, I need to, whatever I have scheduled, let me just remove that, otherwise it will not let me schedule. Okay, so schedule jobs. So so I'm going to delete this one and I will use delete account. Let me copy this somewhere. So I'm just keeping the name here for now. And because I want to delete this schedule job, okay? So deleting this, because I want to reschedule that using the cron expression, okay? So now I will go back and copy this cron expression. And you can either like write the cron expression in your code logic, or you can also do it in like using the anonymous window. So here it is. Okay, so this is, I want to run it at 12 a.m. or let's say like 0 sorry 0 12:15 every day. Okay, 12:15 a.m. 12:15 a.m. every day. So star, what happened to this? All right, star star this. All right, okay. So this is going to, this should be 0 0. All right, hold on. So here 0 0, and then not 0 here, it should be 12:15 I want, right? So 12, now this is 12 a.m. okay, and then here I'm going to give it a star star star, so 12:15 every day, okay, and then this. That's it. Okay, so 12:15 every day. And then system.schedule. This is the method that you have to use. In job title, you can give anything, right? For example, hold on. So let me just, I'll remove that line, system.schedule. All right, here. And then here you need to give the job title, which is nothing but like, to identify the job name, whatever you have given. So you can keep any job name. So delete account, okay, this, and then cron expression. So what is the cron expression? This is the expression that you have created, so that is what you have to give here. Then you have to give the class name. So this is the class that I want to, no, this was the class that I wanted to schedule. Okay, this was another class, another schedulable class. Okay, or I can like use this one as well, it's not a problem, because this is also, this is a queueable class. I need to schedule the schedulable class. Okay, so this is the schedulable class, and you have to provide the class name over here. And that's it. And sorry, here. And here you have to write, I am not sure what is happening on the keyboard, but that's okay. Let me just new, and then all right, and this should be it. Okay, and we can remove this. Okay, so this is how you can schedule it. Okay, so now what will happen every day at 12:15 a.m. this this particular schedulable apex is going to get executed. And what is written inside this? It is calling a queueable class. And what is the logic inside the queueable class? It is deleting all the contexts where email is null. So this check is going to be applied every day at 12:15 in the night, because we have scheduled a job, right? Schedule this apex, schedulable apex class, which is calling this queueable apex, which in turn is checking all the context where email is null and deleting those contexts. Okay, and we can just execute this. See, this is the reason, right? Specify support for specifying both a day of the week and a day of the month parameter is not implemented. So this is right. Hold on. Day of the month. And so we can give a start of the date. So let's say 1. Let's just give it as 1. Okay. I'm seriously struggling with this. I'm not sure why it's happening like this, but string cron expression. What's wrong with this? Let me check. Let me put it as this. I don't want to run it at there, and that's it. Okay. So if I go to the schedulable jobs, let me refresh this. And here you can see, right? The one that we just used the cron expression, it got scheduled for 12:15 a.m. Okay. So it is going to run for 12:15 every day. Okay. So this is how you can actually use your schedulable class. Like mostly you will not see these things getting used a lot, but honestly in a lot of projects, client actually your project will actually ask you a specific time to run any kind of any kind of updation or deletion, any such thing. So you should at least be knowing that what are these parameters for, and how to actually create a cron expression, and how you can actually schedule your schedulable class using the cron expression and system.schedule method. Okay, so the first one is job title, the cron expression, and then you just have to initiate the provide the class instance, whichever you are wanting to be scheduled. The only thing that you have to keep in mind, so whatever you are planning to schedule, right, it should be the schedulable class name here, instance, not the batch, or not the queueable apex. If you want to execute or schedule your batch batch class or queueable apex, then you have to call that in your schedulable class, and then you have to schedule your schedulable class using the cron expression, or you can also use the user interface. All right, so this was all about schedulable apex. I'll see you in the next session. Till then, keep on practicing, and if you have any questions, or if you're practicing out of any of the sessions, and if you have any questions, you can drop your questions in the comments. Thank you so much.